here to show our appreciation. The trophy says the undisputed champion of beautiful clean coal. Thank you, sir.
I'm so disappointed in this right now. Not disappointed, I don't know if that's the right word, but just appalled. Like, after he got the FIFA Peace Prize, now he gets another made-up prize, the Champion of Coal Award. He gets another participation trophy just by killing renewable energy projects and lambasting against windmills, saying that they kill the birds and whatnot, all just unhinged, detached from a reality bullshit. Yeah, that. I don't understand what your guys' war on energy is all about. Like, I thought you wanted to be energy independent, and you're like stopping green energy projects in its tracks that have already been funded, and you want to move back towards coal. Like, we've learned our whole lives that coal is bad for you. It's bad when you mine it, the environment when you mine it. It's bad when you burn it. It costs America more money to burn coal because now everyone's sick, and we got to take care of everyone being sick. Like, the fact that I have to talk about coal in 2026 and remind people that coal's bad is crazy. Now, let's get something straight. I'm not saying we can't use coal at all. Coal needs to be a very small percentage of our total overall energy intake. Because coal's bad for you. It's bad. It's not good for the environment, and we're better than that, and it's time to move forward. The whole world is moving forward with renewables. There's a couple dozen countries that only use renewables at this point, and we can't do it. The most technologically advanced country in the world can't do renewables? Are you kidding me? Of course we can. We need to build infrastructure for renewables. We need to get serious about this shit. This moving back to coal crap that the conservatives and MAGA are talking about is embarrassing. You guys don't actually believe that we need to move back to coal, right? There's no way. If you guys actually believe that, let's just talk about coal real quick. All right, I pulled up a few videos, and let's just talk about the negative effects of coal. Let me just remind you guys why coal's bad. All right, so I found this video of Sky News talking shit on coal, of all news organizations talking shit on coal, and they did a very good video on this one.
Coal powered us through the Industrial Revolution. Now it's powering us to an environmental catastrophe. So why is it so hard to kick?
The simplest answer is because it's the status quo. Most nations' national grids are built to use it, and many of the world's economies are supported by its production.
The technology does exist.
Yeah, that's the next thing, is that when you're talking about like energy, you can't just switch to solar and then, hey, the sun went out, so now we got to switch back to coal. Like, you have to build the infrastructure to, take the energy from the wind farms or from the solar farms and take that to the city, because those aren't in the same places necessarily. So what they talk about a lot is China has been actually building the infrastructure that you need to move all this energy, whereas the US, our infrastructure is just set up to deliver coal power, which is, it's different. It's different transmitters, it's different lines, it's different all sorts of things. So that's where the US is lacking, is that we are not building the infrastructure to be using renewable energy. We're still set up to be using coal.
This to move away from coal. Some countries have managed to stop using it entirely and now rely on the sun, wind, water, nuclear or gas for power.
But huge swathes of the world still use coal. In fact, in 2019, 27% of the world's energy came from it.
And renewable energy can have huge upfront costs and may not be as reliable as the old coal-fired power stations.
The problem is coal is dirty. Mining it, like they are behind me, damages local ecosystems and pollutes air and water. But burning it is even worse.
When it burns, coal produces more CO2 than any other fossil fuel. That, in turn, has a greenhouse effect around the planet and causes it to heat up.
Who's the biggest coal addict of all? China.
At a time when most developed nations are
They're also the biggest country in the world by a long shot.
decommissioning their mines and shutting down their coal-fired power stations, China is going in the opposite direction. It is building coal-fired power plants at a rate that outpaces the rest of the world combined. Last year, China brought 38.4 gigawatts of new coal-fired power into operation.
That's more than 3 times what was brought online anywhere else.
In 2019, nearly 58% of its power came from coal.
And China's huge reliance on coal is one of the reasons it emitted 27% of the world's greenhouse gases in 2019.
But it isn't just China's problem.
In Australia,
So, before we even move on that one, this video was made, back around 2019, 2020, and since then, China is now the leader in renewables. We've all seen, the videos of China's pollution and stuff like that, and they're actually taking steps to lower pollution. So, on that note, China actually is now the leader in renewable technology. So, just keep that in mind.
coal is mined in every state, and in 1 month in 2021, the government approved plans for 3 new coal mine developments. The UK government is currently deciding whether to open its first deep coal mine in 30 years. And after the Fukushima nuclear disaster of 2011, countries like Germany, who were moving away from coal, decommissioned their nuclear power plants because of safety fears, which means they went straight back to being reliant on coal.
One reason that coal is so hard to kick is that growing economies need a lot of power, and coal is a reliable and affordable way of getting it.
The Chinese government, for example, wants the economy to grow by 6% every year. One of their top concerns about reaching that target is not having enough energy to drive the economy.
And for those in power, coal is a safe bet. A coal-fired power station will deliver reliable, affordable power to your voters without needing to rely on a sunny day or windy seas.
Now, the thing about this video that I just shared is it's kind of old. It was made in 2020. So they're still looking back on, 2018, 2019 for its info. And the thing about that is that China is now the leader in solar technology. They are the leader in renewable technology. They're going to be the leader in everything because they're the biggest country. So saying they use the most coal isn't really like an own or anything. But I remember as a kid seeing, images of Chinese cities and they're just like totally smogged out. They realized they had a problem then and they've been solving it. So pollution in China is down and their production of renewable energy is up. So right now they are the leader in renewable energy production. So that's somewhere I think the United States should be. I don't think it should be China leading in solar panels or batteries. It should be the United States. And that's why the CHIPS Act and the infrastructure bill did that. Biden attempted that. And now Trump is trying to move us backwards to coal. Now Sky News did a great job, a conservative outlet, by the way. They did a great job of outlining how coal's bad. But in the end they're kind of saying that, well, China's using it, so whatever. And they're kind of saying that, well, we don't have this infrastructure and it's too expensive, so whatever. But I would argue that the health impact of burning gas, burning fossil fuels is much more expensive than what it would cost to just build the infrastructure for renewables. Then we wouldn't have to spend that money on healthcare on the back end. So I just got one more video that just explains the horrors of coal and what it does to humans and the earth.
Problems, but it's also the main contributor to climate disruption. Just how bad is coal? In mountaintop removal mining, coal companies clear-cut forests and literally blow the tops off mountains to get the coal. This process dumps millions of tons of waste into our streams and poisons our drinking water. But mining coal is only the beginning. Burning coal generates smog, which can cause asthma attacks, chest pains, and breathing problems. In fact, 1 out of 10 children in the U.S. suffers from asthma, and it's the #1 reason kids miss school due to illness. The pollution from burning coal...
I just want to point out, my little anecdotal story is that I grew up in California, and I grew up in this what's called the Central Valley. Now it's a big valley, so all the smog from the entire state, surrounding areas, all the smog fills into there. So everybody in Fresno, like all the kids have asthma. Like instead of like every corner has an asthma clinic, for example. So over the years, California passed very strict emission standards to get the smog, clean up the air. By the time I was in my 20s, the air was significantly cleaner and I didn't have asthma anymore. And another anecdotal point is that I remember going to the mountains as a kid, and you would look out over the horizon and you would literally see the smog. And then as an adult, that smog is gone. Like those emission standards worked. It cleared up asthma, and it's just that it's helped the health of everybody in the entire area. So it's, the smog and pollution, it's real.
Leads to 12,000 emergency room visits and more than $100 billion in health costs every year. Coal pollution also contains toxic mercury that damages the nervous system and is especially dangerous for babies and young children because it can cause developmental problems. Mercury rains down into our oceans, rivers, and lakes, contaminating our fish and seafood. And even after coal is burned, the waste that's left over is bad for our health. Each year, coal plants generate more than 140 million tons of toxic waste called coal ash that's stored in thousands of pits across the country. Enough toxic waste to fill more than 400,000 Olympic-sized swimming pools. Living near a toxic coal ash pit can be worse for kids' health than smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. The good news is that the United States has become an international leader in reducing carbon pollution, largely because we are retiring coal plants and replacing them with clean, renewable energy.
Wow. I have no words to say about that. We're going backwards.
Nationwide. The amount of electricity America gets from wind and solar power has more than doubled in the past few years. Iowa and South Dakota are already getting more than 20% of their energy from wind power, and in 2012, 10 states got more than 10% of their energy from wind. Coal is making us sick, and it's time to make this toxic, outdated energy source history. Let's create a clean energy future for our country and for our kids. Let's move beyond coal.
MAGA, I'm begging you, please do not build more coal plants. Please do not burn more coal. There are other ways. Let's build more windmills. Let's build the infrastructure for renewables. Please do not burn more coal. I don't want asthma. Please, I'm begging you. So that's my rant on Trump getting another participation trophy, and that's my rant on how we should not be using coal moving forward. All right, I hope you guys agree with me. If you don't, please tell me that you don't agree with me. It helps me know more. It helps me learn. It helps everybody learn. So, in closing, please help me out with the channel, guys. Like, share, subscribe, and help me keep this YouTube dream alive. Check you later.